お願いします。And taking a moment to clarify the body posture, clarify the mind. Noticing the body, the degree to which it's holding in, the degree to which it's holding up. Basically go the other direction, down and up. You can even have the image and feeling that the mind itself also sinks weight underside. So quality of the mind itself, like a pebble drifting down through the water to rest at the bottom of the lake. We use that image for physical weight underside, but I find it useful for the mind itself as well. Just settles, deepens and settles. A very enjoyable imagery that I often like to use. It's using some mental imagery to kind of give a sense again of quality we want for the mind and to help the mind. So it's almost like a little poem. Think of the clearest sky. The highest mountain peak. The widest desert. And the deepest ocean. Imagining the clearest sky. The highest mountain peak. Widest desert. And the deepest ocean. Okay, notice what that does for the mind and the body. Can really be a nice, gentle trigger, clarify, and settle mind and body. And slowly coming up. Again, consciously having our attention in the body, scanning the body, feeling the body, noticing places of holdings, and send it the other direction. Send your tensions outward. Send your tensions out, out of the body, away. So give your tensions a direction. First, we have to notice the tension. We have to become aware of it. Otherwise, we'll never know it's there. We'll never be able to release it and change it. Awareness is pivotal. So noticing places a little bit tighter than other places, and release it either by releasing it down or just sending them out, away from the body, out of the body. So sending your attentions outward. Outwardly emanation. And if you just do that now globally, that'll help release the entire body and just open up your energy field and balance and unify the mind and your energy field. Having this quality, this feeling of emanation, emanating outwardly in all directions from the basic core of your body. like ripples in a pond propagating outward equally in all directions. You are emanating out. Now, you're actually already doing that just physiologically and on a level of physics. Just your heat, just your body heat, obviously is radiating out and obviously radiating out in all directions, not just forward, but all directions, down as well and up as well. So, but more than just the heat. The heat is maybe is a good trigger for the mind to be able to relate to it, but not just heat. Energy itself, the key, have a sense that that's radiating, emanating, like you are a star, the sun, emanating outwardly. Nothing holding in, nothing pulling in, a releasing, radiating, emanating. Letting your weight settle. And bringing the heels close, knees fairly bent. And start with very slow, small hip circles. Releasing the abdomen. And if it's comfortable, you let each circle get a little bigger than the last one. Nice good breathing the whole time. Continuing to allow your weight to sink through your legs into your feet. And back to center stillness. Send your intention, send your mind the other way. It's almost like your mind creates a whirlpool, stirs up the water. Your body is swept up by that intentional current. And let those knees be fairly bent. You're warming up not just the hips, but all the joints, the lower body, ankles, knees, even the feet. And back to center stillness. We'll slide down and have the action in the knees, which again is also addressing the ankles and massaging the feet. So be aware of all those things that happen in your body, developing your ability to sink your awareness into your body. And the other direction. And diverging circles. Feel the pressure on the bottoms of the feet. Feel the rotation in your knees and your ankles. Converging circles. Feel the movement in ball joints of the hips. Again, developing that awareness deeper and deeper in the tissues of your body. Okay, coming up, we're going to do some spinal waves. So you send your hips forward and let that roll up, propagate up your spine. We'll do that a number of times, sending your hips back and down so that you can pull your tailbone forward, rolling up the vertebrae. Back and down. It's like there's someone lassoed your tailbone, pulling it forward, one vertebrae at a time. Good. And rolling rollers and feeling that affect the spine. And again, if you let those circles get bigger and bigger, you eventually can touch every joint in the body. So primarily the spine, but actually shoulder joints and even the arms are being gently rotated. Hips and knees and ankles, all these joints are being touched by this movement. If we really relax and send the mind the other way, let the body follow. Nice, good breathing. Hang out, let your weight continue to fall through your legs and feet. And with your chin, draw a circle in front of you to get some nice movement in the vertebrae of the neck. If it feels okay, you can make that circle quite big, down in front of the chest, up towards the ceiling. And send your mind the other way. Good. And then drawing a circle sideways, horizontal circle with the chin. And chin down, pushing chin forward and up, drawing a vertical circle with the chin. So we're kind of rolling the spine again from the top. And we'll reverse that. So chin goes up, forward, down, back to the body, and up. Body vertical circle, the chin the other way. Good. Now see if you can let your spine sway sideways like before. Tailbone going forward, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Now tailbone is being pulled to the side, and let your spine be reluctant to go. One vertebrae is pulled, then the next bone, then the next bone, then the next bone, working its way up. Spine, just like again, a long piece of seaweed at the bottom of the lake. So one of the good things about this, other than really being therapeutic for the spine, it again develops our internal awareness, our ability to sync our awareness and become more sensitive in the body. So eventually we have the control to move one vertebrae at a time. That's a matter of control, coordination, and awareness, sensitivity, developing those qualities, a mind-body connection, basically. Good. Knees nicely bent. And turning the hips, the weight stays right in the center to start with. Arm swings. Again, allowing those shoulder joints to release completely, release the abdomen, bend those knees so you can really turn those hips. Good, winding down. A little wider, toes out, knees out, horse stance. We just had a weight shift. Release those shoulders. Sink into the hip on each side. So rather than leaning, sinking down this vertical axis, right down through that hip. So you can think and think and think without leaning. Good, long stance forward and vertical arm swings using the ground to source power to move the body and to swing the arms. And so more and more becomes not even a press or a push, it just becomes a release down, release down, releasing down, releasing down. Again, as if we're just letting the weight free fall. And switching, long stance, other way. Just releasing down the front leg, send you back. Releasing down the back leg, send you forward. Upper body is just open and released. And equally stretching through both arms. Pushing through, keeping a nice big arc through the arms. Arms, the hands are always continuing to find the furthest most point away. And to the back corner, equal awareness, equal stretch through both arms. And if you're getting warmed up and the flexibility is there, go to the back corner, but the other back corner, the far back corner, that's more of a turn. You arch back and you look towards that far back corner. Equal awareness of both arms. And swinging the arms sideways, lifting the knees. And continuing to lift the knees, but now the arms going to that vertical swing again. Good, and shaking hands out. I call this the human sprinkler. And a very common exercise we do is we're going to be shaking the hands in this fashion. So the human sprinkler is just the fingers dangling. But most of the hand shaking we do has a shape, like a Manchu shape. Not that. That's okay for human sprinkler. But this is the shape we want. Here. And before we do the connecting to the breathing, timing the breathing, let's just work on getting a nice rhythm, a nice shake. You can probably see my body rocking up and down. So I'm not doing that with my body. It's because of the relaxed rhythm, relaxed vibration. So find a relaxed way of shaking those hands that reverberates through your entire structure, right down to your feet, gently rocking the heels off the ground. So that's a matter of timing, rhythm, relaxation, and then dropping. And there's different ways we can drop. Some people might drop down in front and let them swing a bit. Up here, drop down in front, let them swing a bit. Nothing wrong with that. That's another type of arm swing and relaxing. Up here, drop in front and they swing a little bit, with momentum. That's good too. But usually we do a straight drop. Straight up, straight down. Straight up, straight down. Straight up, straight down. And so what helps with that is imagining all the weight concentrated in the fingertips. So you're up here, and all the fingertips are where all the weight is concentrated. You drop straight down. Raise up, straight, 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 straight up. And then down, up. So again, you're not pushing your arms down, you're just letting gravity take them completely. Completely. So you're not pushing them down. You're totally giving them over to the vertical direction of gravity. So that's a little bit different than out here and then swinging. So this is straight down, straight drop. Then we add that vibration, breathing in through the nose. As you breathe out through the mouth, do 3 straight drops. Breathing in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth. Straight up, straight down. Good, okay. Critical kendo. So all those good alignment, posture, principles, not leaning, hips under the head, back heel stays flat. Critical kendo. Back of the neck is straight, lower back is straight. So rolling the wrist forward, rolling the wrist back, and just a soft fist. Rotating inward slightly. And that's all coming out from the center, back to the center. Now, to bring this into more internal training and more mind training, and coming into the same realm as opening the body, lengthening the body, we're going to be doing this energetically or intentionally, but eventually it will translate to the physically changing your body as well. Every time you go forward, send your mind further forward. So as you know already, you want your attention flowing forward. I don't want to be in my body. I don't want to be shirking back. So I have a strong flow forward. We call that irami, entering. So we know we have that. But every time you come forward, send your intention way out to the horizon and kind of note how far your intention went out. Did it go just to the end of the horizon, just the edge of the horizon? Next time, go further than the horizon. Next time, go further than that. And when you come back, stay out there in your mind. So you don't come back with your intention. So you put your intention way out there. It stays there as you come back. You go forward again. Shoot the intention out further than where it was left. Stays there as you come back. Send the intention out much further from where it was. Stays there when you come back. So you keep ratcheting it further and further and further and further and further out, and it never comes back. Further out and through the arms, you're sensing that. as if your arms are doing that. So the arms are way out to the horizon. They stay there, even though physically the arms come back. Go past the horizon. Your arms are out there, your intention, your spirit's out there. Keep it there as you come back. Push everything out there even further the next time. So you're shooting that level of intention further and further, scaling it further and further out. And like a ratchet, once it's there, it stays there. Even as you come back, it stays there like a ratchet. And then you rotate it, extend it even further next time. Further and further and further out. Your feeling, your spirit, your will goes further and further out and never slips back. Further and further out. It might be helpful to even pause here to get that sense of I've thrown the intention out, I've extended it out, I pushed it further, lock it there, lock it out there at that level, at that distance, come back. Push it further, lock it, come back. So even as I come back, it stays out there. So your energy extension just gets bigger or longer. Just keeps going further and further and does not ever collapse or flip back. And try a few physically on the other side. Push it way out, stays there. Push it further, stays there. Even further, stays there. Never retraces back. Never collapses or slips back. Just gets ratcheted further and further out from you. And then eventually let that affect your body. Let that just open, soften, and lengthen the body, arms and body itself. So that's coming from your center, sending your will out from your center. Okay, now with the Tenkai, and just going further and further out. You're way out past the horizon, and you only go further. Okay, so that's Funakoki Endo. And then next on the program is Minuchi. Same idea, we just get bigger and bigger, more and more extended. Out. If I were to allow my body to move. I'm anchored vertically, so that's not going to happen, but it's like this goes infinitely long. Infinitely long. Just forward and back to start with. So your arms, your hands, your fingertips just go further and further, infinitely out there further each time. No limit, further each time. Allow that to release and open. Joint in the arms. Eventually, you'll feel it also elongate your spine and allow your weight to drop. So that extension horizontally forward eventually will be transferred to every direction through the body. So that forward infinite extension will also create this, eventually even widthwise. But it's totally fine just to focus on that forward, longer, longer, further, further. In a way, we're opening up the mind, freeing the mind, so it's not stuck in a little box, and go infinitely further, not getting stuck and limited, opening up the energy flow, the energy body, opening up the mind and its focus and its extension, and that will eventually also affect and translate to the body. And other side. So right now, the way we're approaching it, it's more about spirit, it's more about intention, more about this will, this feeling going further and further and further out. Notice how it affects your arms. Maybe your arms are longer down here. Add a tenkai and see if you can have that extremely long extension or projection each direction. If you have more experience, see if you can keep that even in the turn. That continuous extension, continuous flow out, infinitely flowing out to the horizon, applies to any and all directions. So if you have more experience, really notice where you tend to lose it, and you can fill in those gaps. You can fill in those holes and be a continuous emanator, continuous radiator, and no limits to how far you're emanating. And the body is just a vessel, just a conduit for that mental, spiritual emanation and flow. The body is just a container through which you're working that spirit and flow of intention. Okay. And just going through the basic wipeout program. So Hami no Kamai, let's take some of these feelings and qualities into basic ready stance. Maybe I won't even mention too much at the first little part here. See what you can bring into this, what appears to be a static position. On the outside, maybe it appears static, stationary. But is it really? We're taking the things we've been working with. Nothing is static. And then mindfully, slowly, mindfully, intentfully, switching from Hanmi to Hanmi, from side to side. Notice what you lose when you lose it. See if you can stay continuous and consistent with these feelings and qualities. On a very simple level, can you continue flowing out? Continue, the phrase we often use in Aikido is extending ki. Can you continue to extend your mind, your intentional flow, even as you switch? The normal thing, of course, is to pull in physically and energetically. Can you maintain a consistent outflow, a consistent outpouring? So that's a very simple beginning approach to this. Release the abdomen, let the weight fall naturally to the legs. Okay, Irimi Sugiyashi. So again, I'll kind of put in your lap. I'll ask you to see what you can take into anything and everything else that we do. So going into simple basic footwork, taking some of these qualities and feelings into this mechanical movement. So Irimi Sugiyashi, that's going to be the front foot coming offline, a 45-degree turn. A couple of mechanical details. We maintain a forward stance, so the weight slightly into the forward leg. That forward knee slightly bent. Always directly over the foot, not inside the foot. And we simply maintain the shape, the structure. And this is just converging to center line, somewhere way out there in the distance. If you look at my hands and fingers, imagine these vectors continuing. At some point they meet way off in the distance. Not here in front of me, way out there. Like an arrow. Spirit. Okay. So front foot offline, turn, maintain all those qualities and feelings and flow. So each, knee, stop, chi, keep it at the end as well. So as you're probably familiar with, generally and typically, we say at the end of any move, keep it for a good couple seconds, at least 2 or 3 mindful seconds or a few moments, so that you can make any corrections and or you can continue to anchor the qualities and sensations and continue to emanate. So when I do the move, I don't want to immediately stop and collapse. I don't want to immediately degrade. I want to enjoy that for at least a couple moments to further integrate it, ingrain it, develop it. So you want that, we're not holding the position for 2 seconds typically mechanically. We are correcting mechanically perhaps. We want to continue to develop the qualities, feelings, sensations, emanation, flow, at the very least, the strong forward flow, this forward intentional current. We maintain it. Let's do the other side. Migi hanmi. So front leg, right leg comes offline, we'll turn, see what you lose, see what you can maintain. See if you can keep that current alive and flowing. That current is alive and flowing regardless of what you do. Regardless if you're stationary, regardless if you're moving, regardless of what shape you have. The internal qualities are always on. Each. Ni. On. Shi. O. No. Each. Touch. Maintain. Enjoy. Research. Explore. Okay, now one other basic footwork. We just did irimi sugiashi or sugiashi. Now we'll do irimi ayumiashi or ayumiashi. Back foot. Only difference is it's the back foot that moves offline. Back foot moves first, then the front foot comes back to 45 degrees. We're in a forward stance. Okay, so each. Take that moment to feel and check and adjust. Knee. Oh. So it doesn't finish when you stop. It continues. Knee. Hold. Release the abdomen. Rope. Allow the weight to free fall through the hips and legs. Each. And that free fall creates an extension and expansion. Touch. Okay, Hidari. Left side forward, so it could be the back leg, right leg coming offline and up a bit. 45-degree turn, the weight stays in the right leg, front leg. Each. Sink and flow. Knee. Settle and release. Stay open. Knee. Enjoy the exploration at the end. Go. Rook. Each. Touch. Okay, so signature program, we're going to do Minucci into Sadiuendo. 1, 2. I step, Minucci, Tenkon, bring it down, Tenkai, Sadiuendo. Sink, sink. So I step, Minucci, Tenkon, comes down to the hips, Tenkai, Sadiuendo. In the lower body, hips and legs. Okay, let's come back. Vertical, but centered. Vertical line, but wide center. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, let's bow out. Domo arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much. Have a good night. See you next time.